imagination, will, perception, intuition, reason, and memory. These are all your mental faculties, and they create a subjective reality for you. That type of experience operates without the use of any objective means necessary at all. Your level of awareness, when you're using these mental faculties, you're in an environment that's completely independent of your five senses. And these mental faculties collectively, they can also be described as your consciousness, or what ultimately separates you as a human from the rest of the animal kingdom. However, when we're going through school, all we're taught about is an objective reality, right? And that's something that is derived from your five senses, the ability to hear, see, taste, touch, and smell. And we're taught that that's the only reality, the same reality that the rest of the animal kingdom experiences. Whether consciously or subconsciously, we know that we're definitely separate from that, and that we have a conscious, and that's what separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom. So at this point, you might be wondering, what does all this mean, and what does it all have to do with today's topic? Well, it's my belief that the authenticity created by understanding the interaction between these objective and subjective realities that are created is the most important reason of why we will never be replaced by AI. Because just like our objective reality requires external inputs and an external awareness, the same is true for AI. Without any kind of data being provided to AI, it doesn't have the ability to create a subjective reality. And ultimately, it doesn't have a consciousness for that reason. It only can operate, or it can only exist if we provide it with any kind of data. Now, we do know that AI is revolutionary. It's replacing jobs left and right. We do know that that's definitely a possibility and everything. Now, whether or not you're going to be replaced by AI, I believe that's going to be definitely up to you. And developing yourself and your consciousness, or just becoming more authentic, in my opinion, is going to be the only way to avoid being replaced. So if you're one of the ones that have been wondering whether or not you're going to be replaced by AI, or you're just curious about what the future may hold with AI coming into play and everything like that, then this is definitely going to be a video for you that you're going to definitely want to tap in. Because I'm going to be sharing, beyond that main point that I just provided, I'm going to be sharing 3 other points of why I believe AI will not be replacing us. And more specifically, when I'm saying us, network engineers or just IT pros in general. Also, if you're vibing with this content, make sure to check out my other videos, especially if you're new to the channel, because if you don't know, I share videos every week on stuff just like this. It's everything from tutorials to career advice to personal and professional development for anybody that is trying to become an IT pro or just break into an IT career, period. And definitely, please go ahead. You already know it's going to help the channel if you tap that like button, subscribe to the channel, or just share the video to anybody that you may think needs to hear this kind of information. All right, so we're going to start off by talking about how experts are rare in AI. So although this technology isn't something that's brand new, right? It's been around for a while, I understand that. However, it's only been recently released to the public, and that's relative, right? It's been relatively recently released to the public. But if we zoom out, we can see that AI is definitely revolutionizing this current landscape. With that recent release of it, there's barely any kind of experts that are in AI that are out there. Also, from that zoomed out point, you can see that in fact that is so rare that there are experts out there, because companies are just racing right now to even understand or embrace AIs. All these different enterprises, there's not a lot of experts that can just go in there and tell them how to implement AI, the best practices for it. You need to have security around it and all these kind of things to go for that. If you're an enterprise business wanting to use AI, you can't just start using it. So you're going to have some kind of expertise, or somebody's got to be an expert in your organization to be able to support and maintain AI within your infrastructure. It's my belief that the only reason why companies aren't embracing it and it's not becoming fully adopted by society and by globally by the world is for that reason alone, right? Is that there's not enough experts out there to support it or to maintain it. Now, once it does become part of our everyday lives, just like how the internet became part of our everyday lives, I believe AI will too. I believe that's inevitable. I think then we could start having this discussion whether or not AI can surpass human intellect and all of that kind of stuff. But we're definitely so far from that because current research and development is at least 10, maybe even 20 years out before we even have something that's fully developed at human AI kind of level. This is why you see there's a boom. If you don't know, there's a boom for prompt engineers. And what a prompt engineer does is those are the people that are able to interact with the AI and understand how to ask the correct questions to the AI to get to the appropriate answers from the AI. So unless you or somebody on your team is able to develop those skills, like those prompt engineering skills and being able to ask the AI the appropriate questions, it's risky even using AI because we know that the system is not perfect because we've seen already where the AI will hallucinate. And if you don't know what hallucinating is, it's just asking the AI questions and then it starts just giving you just bogus information. And that's not going to be valuable to any kind of company or enterprise, big level business. They want valuable information if they're going to be implementing AI, especially if you're trying to grow in this kind of economy or if you're trying to even just maintain in this economy. You're going to want valuable information. You don't want to have to sit there and deal with the system that's definitely, it's not perfect, right? The AI isn't perfect, so you definitely don't want to deal with getting bogus information and start hallucinating, or vulnerabilities in using the AI where the data that is being input is starting to give out kind of wrong information or maybe information that may even hurt your company or something like that. So now we're going to talk about AI and networking, and if you're in a career of computer networking, how all of this relates and everything to you and what's going on in that kind of space. So at the most fundamental level, we need to understand that AI, machine learning, whatever you want to call it, is just the ability for computers to identify patterns that result in improved predictions. However, for that to even exist, just like my main point, this requires a lot of what they call training data. The more training data that you have to supply the AI, the better the AI is. So that means the AI is only as good as the training data that we are providing to it, which is why I believe ChatGPT was even released to the public, was because that's just a way to just get a whole bunch of training data because it's free, right? It's a free service, resource, or whatever. And the more questions we ask it, the AI just keeps on getting better and better at making improved predictions by identifying the patterns of all these types of questions. Because as human beings, our psychology, we're probably all asking kind of the same kind of questions. So the AI just keeps on getting better and better in that way. Nevertheless, this training data or these AI workloads, for them to enable your AI apps and all of that, if you're a company running this kind of stuff, for that to function effectively is going to require that these workloads and everything are going to be running on some kind of backend, and on that backend it's going to be Ethernet at the end of the day. To prove that, there was a recent survey done this year, I believe. If you go research it, there was a recent survey done that 66% of enterprises for these AI workloads, they're using Ethernet for their backend. And with that being said, I'll give you 3 guesses of who do you guys think that, or who do y'all think, whatever, that these enterprises that are using Ethernet, who do you think they trust as their partner in networking for Ethernet and all of that? Who do you think that they're going to trust? If you haven't guessed it by now, that's right. It's going to be Cisco is who they're trusting to support and maintain and everything and to work with and partner up with when they're using Ethernet for these AI workloads. So again, I know there's cloud and there's a lot of this stuff going around. Coding, all of these things are important. Cybersecurity, trust me, all of this stuff is important, but networking isn't going away. And just because AI is here, again, those workloads, they need connectivity. They need to run on Ethernet on the back end again. And Cisco is definitely a major player in that. So the math is mathing for me. It's pretty much a no-brainer to, if you're studying for Cisco, you're going to be in a good place. And even if you're not studying for Cisco and you're just going for a Network Plus and just want that industry level knowledge, just a general knowledge of networking, it's not going anywhere. Just because everything is in the cloud now, it doesn't mean that networking and subnetting and all these things are just going to be eliminated. So again, just don't believe that hype. Do your own research, of course, but I'm pretty confident that having a Cisco certification or just a Network Plus certification or just going after a career in networking, if you're in IT, that's not a bad place to be even in this day. And projecting 10 years out, you're still going to be in a good place. Maybe after 10 years, maybe we could start having that discussion, like I said. Which leads me into my third and final topic. We're talking about careers and how AI is affecting it. Now, I can't speak for any other IT domains. I'm only following networking and cybersecurity. That's where my blinders are on, right? I should definitely expand and look at these different IT domains or these disciplines in IT, like cloud and everything, but I guess I'm biased or whatever you want to call it. But I'm only focused on really like networking, computer networking, and because that's been my bread and butter, and cybersecurity, because that's where I feel comfortable with. That's what interests me. Now, for this networking perspective or the networking domain, computer networking discipline or whatever, from my point of view, and if you take a zoomed out, I'm taking a zoomed out look, you can look at this from that kind of point of view and you can see that a large portion of this world is either not connected or just they're unable to even get connected because there's underserved parts of this world that haven't even been developed yet that just aren't connected. But I assume and I believe that they'll eventually come online once technology progresses and all kinds of things progress. The world is going to be fully connected, but there's still just a large portion of this world that's not connected. And that means that these people can't even enter into this digital economy, right? They can't participate in crypto, blockchain technologies and stuff like that just because they're not connected. But in the future, and I see that crypto and all of this kind of stuff is starting to go that way, right? We can see all of that stuff coming in and blockchain and everything, that eventually these underserved parts of the world or these parts of the world that just aren't able to connect, they will be connected eventually. I'm pretty sure and pretty confident that that's going to happen. Again, roughly 3 billion people, or we could say like 38% of this world, just throwing some numbers out there, there's just without connectivity. So in the future, they will need to be connected, and that's going to require networks for them to get connected, and that's going to require people that are going to support these networks and maintain these networks, however that may be. So in the future, when all these people do start coming online and the rest of the world gets caught up in everything to this connectivity and getting into this digital economy and all of that, we're going to need people in networking that have this level of knowledge to be able to support and maintain these networks. So that's why I still believe that there's still great promise for anybody trying to get a career in networking and everything. Just because AI is here, yes, AI is here, is revolutionary and everything, but we just need to take a zoomed out approach at all times and just don't be just so focused on the next shiny object, like whatever cloud or whatever it is. And again, I'm not knocking none of these other disciplines. I'm just saying if we take a zoomed out approach and we want, and networking is something interesting to us, we can look at things like that, that people aren't connected and they're going to need to get connected, and there's going to be more networks and things that are going to need to be supported. And I even forgot to mention the growth of IoT, right? There's going to be more refrigerators coming online. There's going to be more smart cities coming up, smart cars, all of this kind of stuff. And if everybody is just going into cloud or just going into cybersecurity, and there's no networking professionals out there, who is going to support these networks, that these devices and these mobile devices or whatever, they're going to have to get connected some kind of way. There's going to be a need for people to be able to support that kind of growth and maintain it. That pretty much wraps it up. All I'm trying to say is, after researching this topic about whether AI is going to replace network engineers or IT pros, I'm very confident that nowhere in the near future, I'm talking about 5, even 10 years out, that we even have to worry about AI replacing us. Now, don't get me wrong, AI has revolutionized industries in all different sectors. However, I just look at it as a tool to help me advance my career by being a virtual assistant to help me increase my knowledge, which ultimately is going to help me get more job opportunities. Me or you, whatever, if that's what you're using it for. And that's what I believe. It's just a tool, really. It's not something to be afraid of that it's going to replace me. Because, again, for every job that AI has taken and replaced, in that same breath, for every story that I hear that, I see another story where AI has created another job opportunity. It's just relying on the person, again, to become more authentic, to develop their self, to develop their skills. Now, the jobs that AI is replacing, you're going to be able to get a job that AI is going to create an opportunity, because, again, AI needs us. It needs somebody to support it. And with it has no ability, it doesn't have no consciousness or anything. I don't know, some people are saying it's sentient. I don't believe so, because, again, it doesn't have these kind of mental faculties like I spoke about before that separate us, that allow us to have, a consciousness and everything like that. It doesn't have these kind of abilities like that provide us stuff that is beyond this physical realm and this physical world that we live in. Hopefully all that made sense. Again, if you were vibing with this content, make sure to tap that like button, share the content, and subscribe. It's going to help the channel. And definitely go ahead and check out my other videos. Again, there's tutorials on there for anybody that's trying to learn and grow or whatever. I got tutorials out there. I got career advice, and I got personal development videos out there. Just check them out. You'll see them. And hope to see y'all on that next video. Holla at me. Peace.